What's going on, everybody? Welcome to AfterPrisonShow, and today I've got some big news for you. I told you yesterday that my life was about to be changing, and I'll be damned if it's not about to. It all started on Thursday afternoon when I got a call from my probation officer who told me that I needed to come see him and it was important. And I needed to do so yesterday. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Anytime I've ever gotten a call from a probation officer in the past who told me, "Hello, Mr. Guerrero. This is probation calling you. You need to come see me immediately. And if you got a pair of handcuffs, you might want to bring them. 'Cause you're gonna need them." Yeah, anytime probation's ever called me in the past telling me that I need to come see them immediately, it usually had to do with the fact that I was about to get locked up. So with that basically being the only kind of experience I've ever had with probation calling me out of the blue, telling me that I had to come report to them immediately, I'm sure it's not hard to imagine that I was a little nervous. However, the major difference this time was I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. In fact, I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. So I knew that there was a very high likelihood that going to see my probation officer this time, there was going to be some good news attached to that visit. At least I was really hopeful of that. I mean, I did just have an experience not too long ago where somebody did try to call my probation officer and tell them that I was doing illegal tattoos out of the house. Tattooing? We don't do no tattooing over here. Hey Cody, you ready to get that tattoo? You got it all drawn up? You got that big back piece that you wanted with that unicorn? We'll go ahead and knock that out after this video. So it was yesterday that I went and saw my PO after that out of the blue call that he gave to me. And guess what? Your boy Old Joe, he's no longer on probation. I have successfully completed the terms of my supervised probation. Woohoo! It's party time! We're gonna party! Yes, it's over with! I'm done with it! I am done with probation! Yeah, we might want to hold off on that for just a little while because though I did successfully complete the terms of my supervised probation yesterday, I am still on what's known as unsupervised probation. And in fact, I'm gonna be on this unsupervised probation for like 5 or 6 more years. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with what exactly unsupervised probation is, and I need to throw this in there real quick, I'm not exactly 100% sure either, considering this is the first time in my life I have ever been on unsupervised probation. But what this actually means is that I am technically still on probation. However, I don't have to go see a probation officer anymore. But, and this is a major but, I probably should have said Junies! Junies! There is a pretty big thing to keep in mind with this. Though I don't have to go report and see anybody, no more little tinkle test or anything like that, if I get in any trouble whatsoever, catch a charge, bring back a new charge, do something I'm not supposed to do that ends up with me either going to jail or having that yellow or green piece of paper in my hands, yellow for misdemeanor, green for felony. Though if for whatever reason I did end up with a felony, hold on one second. I gotta knock on some wood before saying this. That would in all likelihood mean that I'm already locked back up. But if I did end up bringing back a charge or having that yellow or green piece of paper in my hands, not only would I be facing whatever charge that will never be, I'd also have to deal with a probation violation as well. And if hypothetically in some third dimension parallel universe, hold on one more second, I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of knocking on wood in this video. But if I ever ended up with that probation violation and just like that charge that I was talking about, that will never happen. Well, when violated, the courts could give me up to 7 years back in prison. Because when I caught all of those charges that first originally sent me to prison to serve those 7 years, well, technically it really was 14 years. But they suspended 7 of those. So again, if I was ever violated, I would be looking at a max of that suspended 7 years. So it's with mentioning all of that, and just like I mentioned in yesterday's video, that there's about to be some big changes in my life. Because since the age of 18 years old, I am now 34 years old. Damn, you older than a motherfucker! I know, I get it, okay? I'm old. But again, since the age of 18 years old up to now, 34 years old, I have only not been on probation one time in my life. And during that one time where I wasn't on probation, that was after the very first time that I went to prison and came home after serving a year and a half for, as you might imagine, a probation violation. In fact, my third one of those. And it was when I was released after serving that year and a half that I was released with a piece of paper that said, you've got 72 hours to call and report to the probation office. And when I had this piece of paper in my hand, I was like, why do I even have this? I've completed all of the time that I was sentenced to on probation being locked up. Because you see, when I was 18 years old, I was sentenced to 3 years of probation. That only took me 7 years to complete. And the only reason I was able to complete those 3 years of probation successfully is because I kept getting locked up for a probation violation. For the first violation, I was sentenced to 12 months. For the second one, 6 months. And then that third and final one where I received that year and a half, which if you add all of that time up, comes up to 3 years. So again, when I was released after serving that year and a half with that piece of paper in my hand saying, you've got 72 hours to report to probation, I didn't know what any of this was about because I thought I completed my probation, again being locked up. But it was when I went and reported to probation then after being released that as soon as I walked in the door, probation said to me, you need to go ahead and sign these papers. Man, what in the hell am I signing right here? Am I still gonna be on probation? Here's your damn papers. I just signed them. Okay, thank you. With signing these papers right here, you have successfully completed your probation. Well, I don't really know how successfully you completed it, considering you spent your entire probation getting locked up for violations, but you're done. You can leave now. Oh my God! I have just been let off of probation. At this point, I was something like 25 years old, and this was the very first time that I was gonna be a free man, free and clear of any prisons or jails or Department of Corrections or probations or paroles. I was a free man! And yeah, I would end up getting locked up like 11 months later for all of those nonviolent drug offenses that would end up sending me to prison for those 7 years. And you know, I think about it like maybe then I still needed probation, or maybe I wasn't ready to be responsible, because as soon as I realized I was off of probation, I was right back to doing all of the same dumb shit that I had been doing up until that point in my life. And because of that, again, I wouldn't even last 1 full year out in the free world, free and clear of everything, before I was back locked up again for something so much more major than anything I had ever been locked up for before. So though yesterday I was released from probation, again, this is only the second time since I've been 18 years old that I've been able to say I'm pretty much free and clear of everything. I mean, the difference this time is I'm still on unsupervised probation for like another 5 years. And maybe that's a good thing. Because, you know, I only have one prior experience with being completely free and clear. And that really didn't work out so well for me. And with the type of life that I've lived up until this point, you know, being completely free and clear, that's kind of a scary thing. Being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, not having to worry about probation just lurking somewhere in the corner. I mean, maybe for me, having probation lurking somewhere, or maybe at least in my past, well, I can't even say that either, because all I ever did in the past was completely violate and mess up all of the probation opportunities that I had. But you know, it's this time when I'm 34 years old, a lot older, a lot more mature, and definitely not willing to ever go back to anything that I had ever known from my past that led me to be in a place that was all too familiar to me that should have never even been that. And that place that I'm talking about is prison. But it's with me being older and more mature this time that I realized yesterday I am one step closer to being completely free and clear of everything. And even with as great of a thing as that is, being able to go where I want to go, out of state, travel, do what I want to do, go see things that I haven't ever seen before, I still have to be extremely careful and cautious with every single thing that I do. Because again, I don't never want to go back to where I've spent most of my adult life at. And you know, another thing that I've realized with all of this is that when I was 18 years old, it only took me doing one thing, which ultimately would lead to a bunch of more things, which would cause my life to become like a revolving door when it came to the courts, jails, prisons, and probations. And since that one thing at the age of 18, it's taken me all the way up to the age of 34 to finally only have one final step before I can put all of this behind me. And you know, if you think about it, I'll be 39 years old before I am officially, completely let free and loose from probation. At that point, I'll have spent almost 20 years of my life connected in some form or fashion to the judicial system. So, to any young people out there who may be watching this, thinking that, I'm about to go do that one thing. Let me tell you, there's a good possibility you could spend the next 20 years of your life trying to get over that first one thing that could potentially send you down a road like I've been down. It really just ain't worth it. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.